Hey everyone, and welcome back to the KHS Weekly Show.
We hope you all enjoyed your extended weekend.
And with Martin Luther King Jr. Day this past Monday, we begin the show with a quote from him.
The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically.
Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. Alongside Medea Hussein, I'm Lauren Abderholden, and thanks for joining us. Medea?
Shout out to Ethan Gross for the intro video.
This week's show is for the week of January 16th through Friday, January 19th.
We have a packed show highlighted by a few video segments, so stay tuned for those later in the show.
You may have seen and heard on previous weekly shows an effort to increase safety awareness.
Recently, producers Monique Zacharias and Francesca Tejada caught up with new school security officer Mr. Caputo and vice principal Mr. Chivis, and they share more about the efforts that KHS has put forth to ensure a safe environment.
We will be right back after this video.
I'm Francesca Tejada reporting for Kinnelon High School. This year, the Kinnelon Public School District implemented a new policy. Along with my co-producer, Monique Zacharias, we caught up with Officer Caputo, Mr. Chivis, and Student Council Executive President Eric Moody to discuss this safety policy. With more, here's our report.
I am the security liaison for the district. So when there's security issues, they usually ask me about it, or I bring security ideas to the board or to the administration and present what it is I'd like to do and run ideas by them. And I also talk with the police as far as those things, how it would benefit the schools and each building specifically. I believe the police department came to the Board of Education asking if we'd be interested in having an officer in the buildings, and after weighing all the pros and cons, they obviously decided that it'd be a benefit to the school district to have that, so we are now have the benefit of Mr. Caputo walking the halls every day.
I was excited about it. I was approached by Chief Schwartz at the police department just about 2 years ago now. And he explained what the position entailed and that it was a new position, a new program initiated by the state. And I took it as a good challenge. I look forward to the opportunity to give back to my community and meet awesome students. And again, it's that personal touch. And it's been wonderful.
Safety should be something that you don't have to think about. It should be a given. And unfortunately, you see everything in the news, it's not given. But again, added levels of security, such as Mr. Caputo, that gives us another level of security and one less thing we have to think about.
I'm primarily at the high school. I also have other responsibilities at Kiel, Stony Brook, and Pearl Miller, but it's really just trying to get faculty, staff, and students in a proper mindset to be mindful and diligent about security issues, given the times. And that may be as simple as making sure that all doors are kept closed and locked, that they're not left ajar, that we don't let strangers in the building. And most importantly, if you see something, to say something about it.
A whole nother sense of security for the kids, which will help benefit them while learning because they won't have to worry about anything else but learning.
Well, it's another set of eyes inside the building. Outside of the building, it's great to see a officer's car parked out in the front parking lot, and that just announces that there is a police presence in the building for anybody that's on the outside looking in who might be looking to cause harm.
If you're consistent and recognize things that are out of order and need to be corrected, and you do that consistently, then again, issues that arise can be taken care of quite quickly.
Security, because if you're secure, you're safe.
Necessary. I think the way things are going in the country nowadays, people have to be a little more aware of their surroundings, what's going on, and having an officer in the building and another set of eyes, it's only going to be helpful.
Thanks to all involved that helped with the video.
As we turn our attention to announcements, please listen carefully as dates and meetings are subject to change.
The next few announcements are related to school news and informational announcements about things happening in KHS.
Big shout out and congratulations to Kinnelon High School Student of the Week, James Lee.
Awesome job, James.
Before our winter holiday break, KHS hosted a blood drive with the American Red Cross.
On behalf of the American Red Cross, Mr. Souls extends a big thank you to all those that donated blood.
We collected 51 pints of blood that will help up to 116 people in need.
And also earned over $1,800 to award in scholarships for graduating seniors.
We will be having another blood drive on May 4th that will be held during the day here at KHS.
If you weren't able to help out for this drive, please consider the next one.
And speaking of scholarships, this is a reminder for seniors.
There are many scholarship opportunities and applications available.
Scholarship applications are posted online and linked in Naviance through Scholarship List.
Click Scholarship link to access full listing of scholarship opportunities, applications, and deadlines, or speak with your guidance counselor.
Moving along.
Even though the school year is nearly halfway over, maybe for some students you may not know a few of our new KHS teachers.
Earlier in the year, producers Zoe Ingle and Cooper Bresky caught up with several of the new staffers in the Get to Know video segment.
We will be right back.
This is Cooper Bresky, here to introduce you to some of the new teachers around KHS. What subject do you teach at KHS?
I teach English.
I teach forensic science and biology.
English.
I teach math and computer science here at KHS.
I teach special education. Physics. This year I'm teaching CP and AP1.
I teach the self-contained special ed classes.
Why do you choose your subject?
I've always been fascinated with the field of science. I love the life sciences and the medical field.
Actually, I wasn't originally intending on teaching English. I wanted to teach physics, and I wasn't able to double major in physics and secondary education. So I've always loved to read, and that's how I decided to major in English. And then I just loved it ever since I started.
When I was in high school, I actually struggled a lot with math, and in struggling and working to understand math, I felt that I came out understanding it a lot better, and I feel that I have a good grasp on it, and I'm able to help students understand it better.
When I took it in high school, I thought that it was the most relatable science, so I really like to teach that in my class, relate it to everyday life, and do lots of labs and experiments.
How long have you been teaching?
This is my 6th year.
This is my 22nd year.
This is my 11th year teaching.
I've been teaching for about 10 years.
Oh, this is probably my 15th year teaching.
This is my 7th year.
I said we weren't going to talk about it a while. I've been teaching a while.
Where have you taught previously?
I taught for 2 years at a private Catholic school in Yonkers, and then for the past 3, I was in Montvale, New Jersey.
Well, my first 11 years were spent in the medical field, so I was not a high school teacher to start. I was actually an adult ed teacher.
I first started my career at Mount Olive High School. Then I moved to Milburn, but because of the commute, I decided it would be better to stay closer, so now I'm here at Kinnelon and very happy for the move.
I started my career actually in Sydney, Australia. So I started teaching in Australia students with autism, and I moved here, worked in New York City, and I find myself here. So I've been teaching for a while.
Are you in charge of any other clubs or activities at KHS?
I'm the advisor of the newspaper.
Yes, I run the National Honor Society. I'm a co-coordinator of that, and I also run the Health Professions Club.
I am the debate club advisor.
Mr. Gephardt and I are soon to start a Science National Honor Society, pending approval by the organization, and I also like to get involved in any other science activities available.
What might students not know about you?
I'm a black belt in Taekwondo.
Students might not know that I'm a mom of 6 children.
Some students know this, some don't, but I'm also a musician. In addition to my love for sports and having played sports, I also play the piano, play the drums, and I sing.
This is pretty much who I am. Quirky, apparently loud, good sense of humor, and I like to run.
A big thanks to all involved, and good luck to Mrs. Yeager, who recently took a new position at Stony Brook Elementary.
Up next are a few school activity and club announcements. Please listen carefully.
An early reminder and save the date.
Mr. Kinnelon will take place on Thursday, March 15th.
Attention all senior boys interested in being the next Mr. Kinnelon.
The grand prize, free prom, crown, sash, and title of Mr. Kinnelon forever.
Wow. There will be a mandatory meeting for all participants and managers Wednesday, January 17th in room 302 during unit lunch at 10:40 a.m.
See Ms. Sapio with any questions.
The Kinnelon Public Library will be holding a book club at KHS during unit lunches.
Students and staff are welcome.
First meeting is Monday, January 22nd in the KHS Band Room.
Books will be provided and future titles and dates will be discussed. Please see Ms. Desario for more information.
Attention all juniors and seniors.
The Science National Honor Society is looking for members.
If you are interested in applying for the National Science Honor Society, please see Ms. Vilchok in room or Mr. Gebhardt in room 309 or 312.
There is Colt Chronicle meeting Wednesday after school. Any questions, please see Mrs. Vandersloos.
The following are several sports-related announcements. Please listen carefully.
Online registration is now open for KHS Spring Sports.
Online registration and hard copy medical paperwork are due no later than February 1st, 2018.
You will need to have your login and password for returning users or your student ID number for new registrations.
Payment will be required at the end of the process via Visa or MasterCard.
For some student athletes, the Division I college recruitment process can be exhausting and at the same time exciting.
We learn more about the recruitment process for KHS Junior and National Level Equestrian Rider Nina Columbia.
In this video segment, she shares her experience on what it's like to be recruited and begins to make plans to head south for college and participate as an NCAA Division I rider.
With more, producers Nicole Calabrese and Lucas Kalakova provide this report.
We will be right back.
Hi, I'm Nicole Calabrese, and recently co-producer Louis Kalakova and I caught up with Nina Columbia, Mrs. Nafash, and Mr. Rosenberg to talk about committing to college as an equestrian.
I've dedicated so much time and money into riding my whole life, and to pass up an opportunity for a scholarship at a great school just doesn't make sense to me. The privileges that athletes get at schools are insane, and I'm so lucky to be provided with an opportunity to ride in school. The schools that have reached out to me are University of South Carolina, Texas A&M, University of Georgia, UT Martin, Fresno State, Oklahoma State, North Dakota State, Baylor, Southern Methodist University, and Texas Christian University. And I think I'd be happy at any of those schools.
Well, if we don't offer the sport here, I think it's mostly depending on our guidance department. We don't have coaches who can recommend these athletes to college programs and things like that. So really, they would have to rely on their guidance counselors who understand what it takes to be a Division I athlete. They understand the academic requirements and things like that. They understand the search process too. So we would probably work mostly with club coaches on the academic level to help find the right fit for those student athletes.
The NCAA has a lot of rules, and one of them is that coaches aren't allowed to reach out to recruits until September 1st of their junior year of high school. And being that it's already November, everything happened really fast for me. Schools reached out to me, and the first step was arranging phone calls. And I got pretty nervous talking to coaches. I didn't really know what to expect, but all the coaches were so nice, and they were so, welcoming, and they really made me feel right at home, which made me feel a lot more confident in the schools. The tours are more custom to what I want and what I want to major in, so we got to see that stuff. We got to go visit the athletic dorms and the equestrian facilities. It was really fun going to the game. We got to go on the field and meet other football players, and it was really cool. It's really special.
The NCAA clearinghouse makes it pretty easy. Again, our counselors have been trained, they understand the process, so they would sit down with the student athlete and go through the NCAA clearinghouse, which has become easier and easier.
Kids in high school are kind of like, oh yeah, you horseback ride, is that even a sport? And then you go to college, and being on the riding team is actually a big deal. You're a Division I athlete, and other people know that.
Absolutely. Listen, we get a number of kids who participate as equestrian athletes per year. We support it. We get letters from the National Equestrian Association, and we're willing here at Kinnelon High School to award varsity letters, even based on them participating on an outside sport. So here's the thing. She's committed. She spends a lot of time doing it. That means we respect it, whether it's for a school sport or for something else.
I can see myself at all the schools I visited. They all have an intense amount of energy and spirit at the football games. The campuses are all gorgeous in their own ways, and I love the teams and coaches. Like at this point, I know anywhere I end up, I'm going to be happy.
Sorry, that was Louis Kalikova, not Lucas.
Thanks to Mr. Rosenberg and to Nina for providing some footage from her recent recruitment visit, and to all involved that helped with the video.
Wrestling earned a huge win last week against Pequannock. The team has 2 big conference matches this week against Boonton and Butler. Good luck.
And good luck to all of our winter athletic teams this week.
Attention student athletes, please listen to the end of the day announcements for any athletic practice schedule adjustments.
Be sure to follow the KHS YouTube channel and live stream accounts, KHS website, and social media platforms.
On Twitter, follow the KHS Principal, KHS_sports Twitter, and Guidance Twitter accounts for updates and more.
Today's show was produced by the Advanced 2 class.
Our director today was Matt Henyon.
Our technical director was Carvo.
Our video producer was Alex Arzosa.
Our audio operators were Damien DiToronto and Andrew Jaskowitz.
Our script supervisor was Cleo Palace.
That's it for today. Have a fantastic week. Work hard, be kind. Peace, everyone.
What is this? The 5-foot assassin with the roughneck business. I float like gravity, never had a cavity. Got more rhymes than the one that's got family. No need to sweat Arsenio to gain some